Hello again, everybody. I'm Colin McGuire. Welcome back into our exclusive election night coverage here at the Frederick News Post. Alongside me is Alan Etzler. How are you, Alan?
I'm doing great. Unfortunately, the Frederick County Board of Elections is not doing great.
Because we don't have any numbers. You're probably wondering why we weren't back in the 8 o'clock hour. That is partially why. We're going to catch up on a few things now while we wait and wait and wait and much anticipation.
Hopefully something good happens.
Yes.
Hopefully
while we're on air.
Soon.
Hopefully we stay on air too. That's a little inside joke. So one thing we wanted to talk about first was the Associated Press actually did call a race a little while ago before calling one very recently, which we'll get to in a second. But before that, do you want to set up who the AP called?
Right. So the first race was called very early. The Associated Press called Senator Ben Cardin in a win. He's the incumbent. He's been a staunch anti-Trump figure in Congress, in Congress. Sorry, and I think it was pretty widely expected that he would win by a wide margin, and it turns out that he did, and that's why they've been able to call it so early. So that one's no surprise. That one's no surprise.
There's also another one that's probably no surprise to a lot of people you just saw online before we went on air. Assuming we're still on air again. Haha. So, Alan, what happened? What happened with the governor's race?
Right, so it looks like that was a pretty early call, too, which is a little bit surprising. It's not so surprising to hear that he won, but it sounds like Governor Larry Hogan will be the first Republican governor to win re-election since 1954 in the state. So, Governor Hogan, we don't have results at the state level because high turnout in Prince George's County. They ran out of ballots. They haven't been posting results for other counties, but individual counties surrounding us have. We got results from Montgomery County. We got results from Baltimore County. Hogan was up by 18 points in Baltimore County, which is a huge margin. And he had 40% of the vote in Montgomery County, which is really good. And I told you that 40% mark is going to be right about where he needs to be to win. He got it. The Associated Press has called it, and so it sounds like we have a second-term Republican governor in the state.
For the first time in, what, 70 years?
1954. I can't do math, man.
Okay, that's something by... Well, that was called in, what, by 9 o'clock, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
it was called a couple minutes ago, so fairly early in the evening, based off of very limited data, very limited numbers. But it was the things that we needed to see to be able to call it. And so as soon as we see the rest of the numbers come in, it'll become official by the end of the night.
And then we'll have Larry Hogan in. No, I'm just kidding. He's not coming here. We do want to talk about some results from some other counties, though, right? We have surrounding counties that we've heard something from. Any sort of forecasting we can take from that?
The only results that we've gotten are for the Hogan race. And so, like I said, Baltimore County, hard. I think he got 68%. So. Or 60%, so a hard win for Governor Hogan. And then Montgomery County, he got 40%. So that's all the data we have right now. We do have Dorchester County, a relatively small county, who's gone toward Hogan in this election also, but that was pretty expected. So
when it comes to Frederick County, though, what we've heard some things. We did have some footage at one point of the Republican Party here in Frederick. I don't think we have that currently, but we may somewhere down the line, so you'll want to come tune in all night, because we're going to be here until when?
Last call.
Until last call. Thank you so much. So, with all that said, when it comes to the precincts here in Frederick County, what are you most anxious to see from where?
Yeah, so there are several big counties, or big precincts within the county that the majority of the votes that are important are going to come from. The one I've pegged as the most interesting is Orchard Grove. It is the biggest precinct in terms of registered voters. It has more than 4,500 voters, and it's pretty purple. So what that means is registration among Democrats and Republicans is pretty split. And so it's going to depend. We're going to see who turns out. If that district goes one way or the other hard, we're going to see evidence of that blue wave or that red seawall that folks have been talking about. And so that's a very interesting one. It's one to get a lot of votes for a county executive or for a county council at large member, a race that is county-wide. Sheriff's race will be big there too. Another one we're looking at, we hear the blue wave, we hear the blue wave, we hear the blue wave. There have been several years where we've heard of a blue wave coming. They haven't come, 2002, 2004. If we see a blue wave, I think the evidence of it will be in the precinct that votes at Hillcrest Elementary School. It's one of our biggest ones. I want to check and make sure I have the data right. As of the primary, they have 4,319 voters, so it's the third or fourth biggest precinct within the county. And so if they get a big turnout, that is a dominant blue district. In 2014, though, they only had 37% of the voters turn out. So if they get a large turnout, that is a huge gain for Democrats. And then the other blue wave district we want to look at is Monocacy Elementary School. Monocacy Elementary School, again, more than 4,300 voters, and again, heavily blue, and didn't turn out in the last election. So if we're going to see that blue wave, that's where we'll see it. If we see the red seawall, likely will be on the eastern part of the county, in the Mount Airy and the New Market precincts, where those have heavy numbers of voters too and are strong red.
Now, our producer here just handed me something, a tweet that our own Samantha Hogan just put out there. And there's some word from, I think it was Michael Huff, who noted at the Republican, I think it's at the Clarion Inn, you said?
Yeah, it's at the Event Center at Clarion Inn in Frederick.
He said that results, we should start hearing something around 9:45 p.m.
Okay, that's
so
awfully late.
That's awfully late. And as you said before, the reason for this is because of the overwhelming turnout, because they ran out.
That sounds like the reason statewide. That's what we've been hearing statewide. I don't know what the reason is for Frederick County. I haven't heard anything. We also saw a tweet from Samantha Hogan over at the Clarion. Senator Huff apologized for this late voting and made a joke, a kind of a coy joke, that maybe we need a new county executive. I don't think it's going to be the county executive's fault that we don't have these results. I can say that.
That's true, but we're going to keep our eye on it. Hopefully 9:45 will shed some light. If not, then 10. If not 10, then we'll be here until 2 in the morning. It doesn't matter. We're here to hang out with you guys as you sit up all night waiting for this, right? We have a lot left to do.
And there's a lot going on nationwide, too.
A lot going on nationwide, a lot going on here in Frederick County. I cannot promise you when we'll be back, but I can promise you that we will be back, correct?
Correct.
Correct. So when we do that, maybe we'll also have some footage from parties out there. That's a possibility. And if not, Alan and I will do the chicken dance, and that'll entertain you either way. So check back in with us. If everything comes through at 9:45, we'll be back here. If we wait till 10, perhaps that'll be the